talks 5 minutes per talk, and we want to change as quickly as possible. So when talk begins, please, next speaker, come up to the stage immediately. First on stage is Sarah, and I will start a timer. Down here you can also see it, audience. So when the timer reaches 10 seconds, you can help the speaker start wrapping up by maybe saying 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, ready?
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna tell you about hacker camps, what they are, who is going to those things, and why we do them. A hacker camp is basically, you can imagine it a lot like a scout jamboree, and then we add high-speed internet into the mix that goes directly to people's tent. And yeah, the network teams are really into like the number one call at these things is use more bandwidth, because we really want to stress them out. The networks, not the NOC people. Yes, so high-speed internet into your tent means we have a lot of relaxed nerds hanging in hammocks, being in tents, doing all kinds of stuff that they think that is fun, but in nature. There is a lot of hardware stuff going on usually at those events. Like it's a good place to learn to solder. It's a great place if you already can solder. And you can play around with all kinds of blinky things, which I have found are usually really accessible to people that are a little bit new to programming, because it makes sounds and it blinks and it does all kinds of stuff. Yeah. People bring the most obscure devices. They bring the weirdest robots. This little thing here in the middle is a World of Techno. That is a little robot that reacts to its geolocation and plays techno music based on that. There's also a lot of software here. You can see the bar at Bornhag. We are really into stats. We show a lot of stats. The thing in the middle with the scrambled thing, that is a pixel flood. That's also always present at those events, where you basically, it's a little bit like Reddit our place, if you know that, just a lot faster, and bots are like, they're not only welcome, it's like you do that with bots. There's a lot of lights, so this looks, this is an aerial picture of one of the really big camps in Germany, so that reminds a little bit of a techno festival, but it's usually much more playful and just a lot of fun. Lots of art, and then like a music festival instead, you then have talks and workshops and all kinds of entertainment, quizzes around technology. And the area is really wide, like a lot of hard sciences are also represented, and show their stuff. Why I'm bringing this or trying to bring this to Python events is that usually when people hear hacker, they might have been to hackathons and are comfortable with that, but usually people are like, yeah, but I'm not a hacker, I'm not in InfoSec, I'm not that kind of person, and I'm probably wrong there. But this is using the traditional, original definition of hacking, which basically just means being curious about things and wanting to get your fingers on them and change stuff and figure out how they work, which I think is probably applicable to pretty much everybody in the room. You could, for instance, be hacking wood. That's the classic Holzhacker that you see at all of these events. You could be playing with language. Here you can see Joseph having a Tokipona conversation at Bornhag. There's all kinds of areas represented, really. And there is usually some really good beer. Here you can see a very old Cisco router that has been redone into a tap machine. Bleaching t-shirts, making jewelry from electronics, music from spreadsheets, which I think was also Joseph. Yeah, all kinds of things, really. There's a lot of volunteers. These are volunteers and run and participatory events. You should absolutely bring your kids if you're coming. There's a lot of really cool stuff for them to do. Yes. If you are not convinced yet, you can check this out in the Fediverse. There's a lot of different ones of these camps. And you can just look at the pictures. They really give a good representation. This is not accurate anymore because this was PyCon Portugal long day ago. So, yes. This was this year. So, I give it over to the next speaker.
Thank you so much.
I made it through. Interesting. Yes, forgot to say this. Yes. And it's not the only one.
Hello everyone. I'm gonna explain highway to Django, so means migrating from a legacy database. So my name is Efe Öge. I came here this great event from the Netherlands, and I work in a shipping solution which is called SendCloud, and I have a blog which I barely write something. Today we would like to experience some kind of mission, and imagine that you are working in a company and they ask you to write any microservice, and it's going to be very simple, and you don't need to do much of things, and you are very curious. You read a couple of things on the Hacker News, and you think that Fast API is a very nice thing, and maybe you can think that, okay, Fast API is going to fit my requirements. It's going to be so nice. It's going to be faster because it says it's Fast API, but actually it works. You did it. It's gonna be just maybe one API. It's gonna make some calls to other APIs and just do this. Just do the manipulation of the data. Deploy it. Happy. You mark your ticket as a completed. But actually, it's a bit fallacy of the assumption. So you think that the requirements is gonna be always same, but actually requirements always change. So then you're gonna have new feature requests from your product managers. Oh, can we record these on the databases? So then, okay, Fast API doesn't have any native support for databases, so maybe you can have SQL Alchemy. Then you would like to show last created items to the stuff. Then you start to think that, okay, like maybe if I had a Django at first, I could just basically enable it with the Django admin, right? But you already decided that go with the Fast API. Now you need to write your own front end and do all things by your own. Oh, we need to also add cache. It could be faster. Also, I would like to render a HTML. Okay, I'm gonna integrate Django. Okay, authentication. I also need to do this. Okay, there is some open source package, but it seems nice. I don't know the maintainer or who wrote this. I'm gonna use that one. Okay, it goes like this. You can anticipate it. So requirements are changing every day. So at the end, you have this type of machine which you created, and you only know how it works. And it's very hard to onboard someone else from your company, and you became some kind of hostage taker of this microservice. I think this is very bad for the companies or for the other people. But actually, we are currently inventing the wheel again. So if we start with the Django from the beginning of the day, it will be much easier for you. Or also thanks for the Joseph's the first talk from the today from the Joseph. You can also integrate Fast API with the Django. But how could you make it? Like, it's very hard to do. You can maybe use the views like this, but it's a bit hard. But I think that the most important and most hard thing is the state, which is database. At first, I thought that I'm going to create a super fancy open source library which is going to read the database and create models from it. But actually, I made a research, and Django already has it too. So you can use Django. And this is a management command of, like, a bit underrated management command of Django, which is called inspectdb. And this, what does it do? It basically reads the database connected and create the models definitions and just writes to the model spy. And after that, you need to do very small things. You just need to arrange the important modules to different apps. You can use start app management command to create new apps. Then you need to create migration files. But here is the trick, and this is my last minute. And you need to, it creates automatically as a managed false. So you need to migrate the first migrations. Therefore, Django think test, they already they already applied the migration to the database, but they're already there. So then you can create new, you can modify the models in your Django models, and they're going to create new migration files, and you can easily apply them, and you can highway to Django and write Django again after getting done. And this is the end of my talk.
Woo! So, Mike and Tom.
It's on? It's on. I want a normal one.
Today we have light on you.
Yeah, I don't like the regular microphones.
I'll take this one as well.
Yeah, we don't have slides, so.
No slides. Okay, we good? Then, right. I want to make basically a quick introduction to the accessibility team, Django accessibility team. If people don't know what that is, I guess you're about to find out. So, back in 2019, I did two things. I went to PyCon UK and I saw a talk called something about the curb cut effect, and that's basically when you add accessibility features to a website or anything else. It not only makes it better for disabled people, it makes it better for like everyone using it. If you think about keyboard shortcuts or video captions, those are universally useful. And that's always the lens I like to think about accessibility through. So, also in that year, I made a contribution to Django in the form of the navigation sidebar in the admin. So if you ever use that, that was me. Thank you. If you hate it, sorry. So then about a year after that, I found an accessibility problem, or someone did, I don't remember, with the nav sidebar. So I fixed that, and then I also made a post on the developers mailing list saying, I looked through the admin, there's some accessibility issues, what are we going to do about that? And then Adam Johnson, I think this is the second time he's been mentioned today, wrote a post saying, hey, maybe in the future there could be like an accessibility team that looks at this. And then Thibaut Collas also responded on that. And together we wrote the DEP 11, to make the team. And that was done within, I think, like 7 months or something. So then 2020, we had the team. Then, since then, about a year later, we added Sarah Abdeman, and those two are now esteemed board members as well. And more recently, we've added Eliana Rosselli, Saptak Sengupta, and Tushar Gupta, and
Marijke. This is a good segue. So why are we doing the accessibility team? Well, as Tom mentioned, accessibility is not just good for disabled people. Like someone had an example, like if you have a walkway past the road and it has a little slope, it's not just for wheelchair users, it's for strollers and for people with suitcases and all that kind of good stuff. And for us, we don't just have like abled people working with Django. Like I personally know very good, very excellent blind people who also work in Django. So that's the thing. And someone once said, we are only temporarily abled. And actually a good example of this happened last week when my boyfriend's glasses broke. And I can tell you, if I stuck 2 fingers up in front of him and asked him how many I was sticking up, he had no clue. So everyone here with glasses, like, just think of what happens when your glasses break. And I hope you have a backup pair. So there's one thing, but we are not just thinking about the website. We are also thinking about, okay, how can we make presentations, slides more accessible? We have a guideline for that. We work together with, I think, Jeff Triplett to publish that. And we're also thinking about physical accessibility for locations, which unfortunately, like this place that we are in now is not wheelchair accessible. Ben's working on it. We're aware. But how would it be if someone in a wheelchair could, like next year, attend Django Day Copenhagen? And it's a lot of work. And for us, especially with the website work and the admin, we are all mostly abled people. And we don't know physical disability or all that kind of stuff. So it makes it really hard for us to think about, like, how can we improve Django? Like, we want to fix it, but we don't have all the information. So we would like to request, if anyone here has a disability and you're interested in helping the accessibility team, or you're just interested in helping the accessibility team, please come and find us. We are in the accessibility channel on Discord. Discord is also inaccessible, which is ironic. We are also all in the web accessibility Slack, and you can find us on LinkedIn and all that kind of good stuff. Or find us here today. And if you want to help us or do fixes, like, there's so much work to do, and we are only a few people. Like, we're very open to people helping us with anything. Well, that was it.
Yay! Right on time again. And Anna is getting ready for the next one.
Yes. Oh, hi everyone. My name is Anna Makarudze. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, but I moved to Sweden 7 weeks ago. I'm studying my master's at Bleking Institute of Technology in Karlskrona. I'm also a co-chair of the organizing committee for DjangoCon Africa, and I would like to tell you about DjangoCon Africa 2025. So we had our first edition in last year in 2023, and we skipped a year. So the next event will be in Arusha, Tanzania, from 11th to 16th of August 2025. So we follow the format of DjangoCons of 3 days of talks and 2 days of workshops and sprints. But in Africa, we tend to do things differently. We have the first day as sort of a meet and greet and doing some tourism stuff. Last year we were in Zanzibar and we went to a beach in the raw areas. This time around we'll be in Arusha, Tanzania. If you don't know Arusha, if anyone ever heard of Mount Kilimanjaro? Oh, okay. So Arusha is where Mount Kilimanjaro is. And there's also Kilimanjaro Game Park for those who are interested in seeing animals. Most Africans don't get to travel much, so we tend to use DjangoCons and PyCon Africa as well to do some tourism. And also we want to make it pleasant for all our guests coming out outside Africa. So if you want to see the animals during the time that they are migrating, see all our big 5 giraffes and elephants, not in zoos, in game parks, visit Tanzania next year for DjangoCon Africa. So last year we had 200 attendees and 22 different countries were represented. I think we had people from outside of Africa. We had people from Poland, Italy, UK, the USA, Mexico, the Netherlands, and I hope I didn't leave another country. So you can read all about it on the link that there for our report. Our website is not yet up, but our vision is to have a DjangoCon every other year because it takes a lot to organize an event for such a huge continent, because for those who don't know, Africa is 54 countries, and though on the global map it's shown as small, it's actually the second largest continent in terms of land area. So it's difficult also to travel within Africa, so we try to tend to limit it to every other year for sustainability reasons, because we would quickly get burnout. So we try to bring people from Africa and the rest of the world together. And what to expect, tutorials, excellent talks, sprints, and then a Django Girls event. Last year we had 74 women who learned to code over 2 days. So it was the largest group that I had ever managed for a Django Girls event. And our community is very diverse, and unlike what's normally common in the West, like when I look at this event, there are so many men compared to women. And our events in Africa, they always like almost have a 50% ratio women to men. So you will find it different and refreshing if you visit Africa. And I will announce when our CFP is open, but you can consider speaking at DjangoCon Africa 2025. Start thinking about that, or you can also consider sponsoring DjangoCon Africa 2025. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Django Denmark for their support to us for the previous DjangoCon Africa. We really appreciated it. And thanks for watching. If you would like to get in touch with us, that's our email address, and there's the current website that is there, but will be changing soon to 2025 DjangoCon.Africa. So I hope to see you in Arusha, Tanzania next year. And thank you. Oh, and I forgot. So I used to be on the Django Software Foundation board from 2018 to 2022. And nominations are actually open now. If anyone can run to be a Django Software Foundation board member. So if you want to contribute to how Django is managed, please consider nominating yourself. I think you can find details on the website.
Welcome to the stage, Lionel.
Thank you. And I'm audible. It is. And hi everyone. And today I will be representing some abstract art. And then I will be representing my team at the University of Southern Denmark. And our team, we are data scientists, and we work with the research support of our university, meaning that we help scientists to be able to do stuff. One of the tasks started actually in 2017, where our colleague Maeva started and had this idea. And I still remember her words where il faut absolument qu'on utilise l'open source. Il y a tellement de données, il faut vraiment qu'on fasse quelque chose avec ça. Then, as you can hear, she's not English. She's a chemist, and she started to be trying to think about the elements she could bring to be able to help the development of tools for research support. Then she spoke to one of our colleagues, and she came to her, and we have data, and we need to do something to help our scientists. And then I still remember what Luisa said about it. Wir dürfen mit Django mitarbeiten. Wir können diese Algorithmus mit NLP zum Beispiel benutzen. And as you can hear, she's not French, but she's a mathematician. And what we first developed was these web apps that are based with Django to be able to match European funding to our scientists. And we were using NLPs in the background to be able to improve that. And some other university heard about it, and they were really interested to have this type of tool. Then now Alborg contacted the group, and that was Julien that I think answered the call. And I remember still again what he said. It is, yeah, Django, c'est vraiment la bonne solution. Vous pouvez voir, on peut changer le SSO, on change le SSS, et on peut changer tout le thème de couleur. C'est vraiment génial. And as you can hear, Julien is not German, but he's an historian. And the team have been growing because this tool started to be running properly. And finally, we were contacted by a large association that is running a mission to protect the oceans, and they wanted us to develop their platform. And then I still remember that was Alex that was saying that. And Alex, remember? Yeah, he said something like that. Ja, je kan prøve med Django. Det er en god løsning, og med, det er super godt med Docker. And as you can hear, he's not French, but he's a sociologist. And that was a very interesting platform to be able to test other parts of Django. And we had data that have been given to us, and we're trying to organize projects throughout Europe to be able to protect the marine environment. And as we continue developing our tools, our understanding of Django, another colleague came in, and there is an association of young European university that is called Yeroun. And they came to our colleague Doulé and asking if we could propose something a bit like what we had done for other universities, but for 23 universities in the world. And Doulé answered, da, Django dobro, React dobro, similarity dobra, da. And as you can hear, he's not Danish, and he's a bio-mathematician himself. And then we developed this platform based on Django as well, and with React to be able to get a better user interface. And then we have been playing with Django since 2017, and in a way, for us, it is to thank you, the community of Django, that allow to give universities, like the one we work for, to be able to work with open source environment. And more recently, as you heard a few years ago, there's a new technologies that are coming up. And I'm going to tell you a bit of Django Llama. And some scientists came to us saying, our colleagues in research support that have to help in the drafting of the applications that the scientists submit to different funding bodies. And usually all these drafts arrive the same day or within a week. Then they have a huge amount of things to read through.
8, 7.
And then now we have been combining Django and Olama.
2,
Thank you.
1.
Our team.
And by the way, extra thank you for having that talk ready in case as our backup talk. And I want to hear the full talk someday.
And we are really impatient to show more of what we do, but next time in longer. And all in English, promise.
Does it work? I don't know if it's working. Yes? Okay.
Damiano, stage is yours.
Hi everyone, I'm Damiano, Doug, and this is my presentation about Chiptune, a short 8-bit story. Let's dive into the past with crack throws. Crack throws were about cricket intro, so introduction to cricket programs at the beginning of 80s, and they were released by pirates because they would like to be cooler than the other ones. So in the past, computers were less performing than today, so they started to do these intros. Then we have the chiptune. Chiptune is about writing music coming from musical chip from computer. And in these photos, we have 4 of the major people in the chiptune scene. And the last one is Chipsa. You probably know her because she made a lot of soundtrack for video games like Super Hexagon, the game with the hexagon that goes this way. Then we have the demo scene. The demo scene was born at the beginning at 80s as well, and it's a form of digital art, especially made in the past, but every year there is a party, a demo party called Assembly. This is one photo of 2004, and as you can see, there are a lot of old stuff, old computer, old CRT. So how do we make chiptune? Anybody of you has ever made music in general? Raise your hand. Okay. Well, the requirements are creativity, of course, because you need to mix phrases, voices, instruments, and so on. We have, you should have a good ear for music, but it's not a requirement as long as it sounds good. And bonus points if you know music theory, but nobody really knows it or seems to care. And you can do it by retro computer and console. So you can do with PSP, Game Boy, Amiga, Commodore, Sega, NES. Anything is fine. If you are interested, just start. So yes, even and especially with emulators. So if you are not sure before buying a console, just try it with emulators. Sorry? Drums, yeah. So creativity is just connecting things, as Steve Jobs said. And that's true. Actually, it's true because in chiptune you need to link every phrase. So you set a bunch of notes, you write a phrase, and then you connect each phrase each other. We have two different approaches to do chiptune. We have the classical ones that this kind of programs are called trackers, musical trackers. And the first one is LSDJ, probably the most known piece of software on the Game Boy. And this other one is a DAW. You probably know this one if you are used to write music nowadays. And the main difference is the second one. So the DAW is more complicated. You can modulate sounds in a better way. You can change a lot of parameters. You can have virtual instruments, so VST, so you can simulate instruments. In chiptune, in the classical approach, you need to create instruments from scratch. So yeah, basically, this table is what I have said so far. You can have samples even in classical chiptune, but not every piece of software allows this. The learning curve, it depends on the software. The LSDJ, the first one is easier than the other one. The other one, I don't think so. Take-home lesson, chiptune is chip-based audio hardware. The character created program. Let me see this thing. Thank you.
Will you play some music tonight? Will you play some music tonight?
Maybe next time. Maybe if you invite me next time, I will. I actually have a Game Boy. I'm a musician, and if you go to my website, there are some pieces you can listen to.
Then we're gonna go to your website tonight.
I'm not joking.
All right. We have endured a long, long day together, and also a fantastic day together. And maybe you're all thinking like, could use some food now, could need a drink now. But that's also supposed to happen. We just want to say a few things before.
A lot of thank you. Thanks to our sponsors.
Yeah. We can't do these kinds of things without sponsors, so thanks to all of them.
And definitely thanks to our speakers.
Also cannot do this without speakers. And thank you to the audience, the attendees. We cannot do this without attendees. And also, we cannot do this without organizers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Vidya. Thank you, Mikkel.
And thanks to the venue,
Yeah,
Union.
thanks to Union. They've been great. And I think as part of Union, we would
And
like to
thanks to the video guy.
Yes. The one sitting there, making sure the sound is always perfect, making sure the stream is always on. Thank you, Fernando. And it's a wrap. Yes, it's almost a wrap. We didn't get to introduce Django Denmark because we skipped it in the beginning. We also didn't do a lightning talk about it because there were too many other lightning talks. And please ask us about Django Denmark afterwards so we can actually introduce what it is. But yeah, we have a YouTube channel where all the talks will be shared afterwards individually so that you can also share the talks, help spread the word. Yeah.
And we will repeat the success next year in the fall, more or less same time, so it doesn't clash with the other conferences. For
Yeah.
instance, the one in Tanzania.
So if you want to, if you're kind of interested in, how do we make a day like this? Please come talk to us because we'd like you to come and help. And today is a good start for that conversation.
So I guess now we will have a little bit of a break. People can go home, stretch their legs, find some food, and then come back where the bar will be open.
Yeah, but only go home if your
7:30.
home is very close by.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll have a
Temporary home.
pub quiz at this event. I think we would like to change the time of the pub quiz. It says 8:30, so remember that's wrong. It's supposed to say 20:00. So come back already 8:30, 7:30 if you can make it. Then the bar is open and we're ready, and then at 8 o'clock we're gonna start the pub quiz. Very good, very good.
1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
yeah, yeah.
4, 5,
Don't be shy.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
All right. Yeah, and
Nice.
and the bar is open and will accept credit cards because some people worked very hard, both yesterday and today with a terrible KYC process. Thank you. After the party, we have to clean up. We want to finish it at midnight. But then, yeah, if you want to stick around and it's very nice, then please do. But please also help clean up. Then, yeah. All right. Was that the last slide?
That was the last slide.
Aha! But then we have
So-
finished for now, and it's 15 minutes too late. Is that too late for a group photo? Or
No,
No.
never too late for a group photo.
all right. So we figured out somehow last year through an incredible crowd
What
process
did
that
we do last year?
we can all get up here.
Yes, and
Yeah.
goodbye to everyone in the stream. Thanks
Yes.
for coming.
So the procedure for the group photo is.